If you've come here to watch me get beat up for the next 22 minutes, you're in the right space. So what I'm doing here is a bunch of rounds with my training partners where I let them get good positions and then I work out of bad spots. So that's what's going on here. If you want to get some insight into how to get out of bad spots and how to survive, keep watching. Okay guys, welcome back. So here's some more rolling footage. Here I am with young Sam. He's only 18 years old, young blue belt, preparing for MMA. He was kind of my warm-up round, so it was a good one to pick. But so the process we're going through here is just give my training partner pass the guard looks at side control mount, different strangles, different arm locks, different leg locks, and then work out of varying degrees of difficulty. Here I'm having a little play around. It's actually an escape I've been using. I call it the Martin lock. I don't really like naming things after myself, but that particular thing is something I've been working on for a bit. I can show you more about that if you're interested. Okay, so there's going to be times where I'm going to leave my elbows off my ribs. There's going to be times where I'm going to expose a little bit more. I'm going to sort of give a little bit of bad jiu-jitsu really, so he can go to some things. It is kind of tricky for them as well because I'm just in defense mode, so obviously there's things that get picked up while we're in exchanges, but for the purpose of the training, this is what I did. So you see here, I'm going to hook my hand inside my own leg here just to keep a little bit of tension so he doesn't pop the Kimura out, and I'm trying to stop him stepping over the head. You don't want him to step over your head in the Kimura set up there in that dorsal Kimura. So here you can see him going a little chair sit back take, and he's going to look to an ankle triangle here or a back triangle. So I bridge between the legs, and I'm just looking to put my arms between the legs and drive my shoulders through to the mat. And he does a good job of putting his heel on the mat here. So I look for his big toe and I pull that back down. I want to split his legs. I'm keeping my left arm safe, and I saw a little gap in his knee, so I thought I'll just pop my wrist in there, and then he's not going to have the triangle. So he's going to try to go to the arm lock now. And as long as I keep that arm as a bar, it's actually surprisingly hard. Now he's got the arm back out. But I've put his legs down between mine, and there's just no arm lock to be had there. Settles back into top position here. I'm literally giving him out at this stage. He doesn't seem to really want to take it. There we go. So I'm giving him a Katagatame setup here. And you'll see I just gestured the screen. See my right hand? I'm going to C-post it inside his elbow. You can't quite see right now. But what I've done is I wanted him to go to that Katagatame so I could show that if I put my thumb post inside the elbow, it actually screws with his Katagatame because it keeps the side of my neck open. And he's just popped it back out. He's given up and going back to some back taking now. You'd have to excuse my cat. She's here, heard me talking and wants to help out. Okay, so we're here on the back control, and I don't think I gave him a full shot at my neck. He wanted to have a little strangle here with the arm in. So my whole thing here is I don't put my elbow so high that he can go into this arm in reverse anaconda, but I don't put it so low that he pops his hand out and strangles me. So you want to try and play this bit of a middle game where I use my arm to stop his arm getting around my neck, but I don't go so high that he can Katagatame me. Here I slip my elbow to the inside, back dash. Feeling a little stale with your jiu-jitsu and you're looking for an option to improve yourself, SydneyWestOnline.com is a product that I've got, and it's an online platform where I provide classes and information and techniques and feedback, and I can make you better. All right, so you might already have a coach. I'm not trying to take away from that. But if you want a little extra and you want to go into the gym and beat people, jump on SydneyWestOnline.com. Sorry about that rude interruption there. Trying to sell you something. Anyway, let's get back to it. So I'm going to let him out of this Ashigarami because I'm not attacking, I'm defending today. I'm just going to sort of ball up here and see where it leads him to, see what he comes up with, and then I'll work off that. So knee on belly escape, this little grab the back of the knee there and a reverse hip escape, that works really well. Go back and watch that. That's worth putting in your repertoire for a knee on belly. So you generally want to have inside bicep ties here. I'm going to give him the Katagatame again. Let's see if I take my right arm and I use that same thumb post I showed you earlier. No, I'm just demonstrating here that if he can't beat the elbow, there is no Katagatame. So he's in a single chest wrap here. I'm going to use a little bit of kipping. Kip, side to side. So you see with the kipping, if you go multi-directional, pulling your knees up towards your chest, you can start to send them off. And most mount escapes will lead you back into some type of leg entanglement as a general rule. I know it's not the most exciting jiu-jitsu to watch, escapes, but this will make you so much better when you're confident getting out of bad spots. And you know, I don't just do this with blue belts. I'll do this with anyone. I'll do this with a black belt. Being defensively sound is very important. So now I'm going to show him some of my back. We'll see what he does from here. Looks like he's going to a chest lock, trying to go to hooks. And I hit a little Granby roll. He comes around the side there before my hips come over my shoulders and flattens me back out again. So if you can keep people down the body, if you can keep them framed down the body, it's very hard for them to actually go to work. See, once he gets up the body, it's good for him. So if you can keep people framed down on your hips, this is generally good. And that's the end of our round. All right, so here I'm with Jesse. Jesse's one of our brown belts, or a brown belt that's joined us. And he couldn't believe his luck when I just let him pass the guard, because normally there's a lot of battle going on there. And he's kind of thinking, what's going on? Because I don't like to tell the guys that I'm working on escapes, because then you have them acting differently. If they do kind of work out, I say, just submit me as many times as you can. So this is their chance to just punk me on film. So you see here, I'm staying on that strangle hand. So I'm trying to not let him shoot a strangle. And I'm misaligned here, so we can't really do a lot with that back control. Slip the elbow to the inside, and then straight to an elbow escape. So I built back to a guard, and then I'm going to let him back past the guard again. Just resetting off the edge there. And yeah, back in a bit of passing. So I'm kind of letting varying degrees. See this inside the bicep there? I like to use that as an option for controlling their cross-face hand. Jesse's doing a good job of lifting my near side elbow, so that stops me turning in towards him. So let's see, now I'm belly there. I went to grab the back of the leg like I showed you before, but Jesse popped his knee back to the mat. I'm not doing guard retention today, so I kind of let him back past the guard. See, I'm framing him down onto the hips. That's generally going to be a good thing. Now I'm going to pop out the back door here, and he actually does a good job of reading this. So now we're in a front headlock situation. I've tried to come back out the back door again, and he's doing a good job of keeping his arm safe, and then I sat him out the other way. And there's actually a little Americana here. It's a bit silly, but I was just playing around with it. But you can see that I've used it to reverse the position. And now I'm going to go back on my back again. So popping out underneath that arm there with that Martin lock. I might have to make a video on that for you guys if you're interested. Anytime they block the near side hip here and circle around your head, it's on. So you see I'm going to look for it again here, but he goes back into the turtle. Nice little inside hook from Jesse. I think we go to a crossbody ride here, I can't remember. So we crossbody ride, see I pull my knees to my chest? Same as if they're taking crab rides, you pull your knees up to your chest and it doesn't leave your legs available to them. Again, we're not doing guard retention, so I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I should just let Jesse past. I'm kind of cheating at this stage. Had a little look at a coil lock. Coil lock's a Americana variation off that cross scoop guard retention. So I've got an overback here if I can prop onto my elbow. There's back exposure. And that's what I managed to get there. So now I'm in crossbody ride on him. And I'm just looking to get chest to back connection, and then you can start to climb up the body, high ball, and then insert the hook. And then I think I kind of reminded myself, wait a sec, this is a little bit too much attacking for a round where you're supposed to be defending. So I pulled it back in and gave him back top position again. But I wanted to show there that defense does lead into offense. I didn't do a lot of that today because this was just predominantly defense. So reaching over the head here, there's a little sweep option that I saw Gordon using, which I just call the goat sweep. I don't know what its name is, but gave it that name. It's a nice little sweep there from half guard. Put your butterfly hook in and control their head. So you see the side guard here, my right knee and right elbow. That's what you want to keep connected when they're trying to pass you there. Jesse settles into half, little knee lever. So the knee lever gets him off balance there for a moment. Sometimes it'll even just give you your upper body grips back, but you notice I'm trying to frame him down the body. I'm going to try and repeat the same sweep, it looks like. You do need to be careful doing this because you can get hit with the katagatame, but I've been using it a bit, so I know not to let his head go past the shoulder line. Jesse just shook his head like,
he just did that to me twice. Just dragged his arm by as he tried the knee cut there, which extended him further than he wanted to go. So I'm trying to frame his hips here. I don't really want his hips to smash down on top of my face. So you notice I keep my elbows in pretty tight. That's something beginners don't do enough of. That beginners tend to reach a lot. You'll only see me reach if it's very specific and for a purpose there. Wrestle up on the single leg. So obviously underhooks and single legs are a really strong idea coming out of bottom position. Set him back on his butt, and I'll probably fall back into bottom position here, I'd say. Let's see. I should give him the position. Okay, I think I'll let go of the neck, yeah. And this can take a little bit because your ego obviously wants to win jiu-jitsu rounds, but doing this type of training every now and again will absolutely make you better. And it's fun to change things up as well. You know, if you just go in there and do the same sequences every day, it gets a little bit stale. So it's a fun round with Jesse. And yeah, hopefully you guys are picking up on some common things. I'm not playing 100% tight defense. You can see I'm kind of giving a little to get a little. And that's the end of our round. Okay, so here we call this fella Poland. His name's Rafa. He's a crazy Polish guy. And I love the Polish people out there. If there's any Polish watching, you guys are awesome. Cześć, jak się masz? I'm trying to work on my Polish. It's a very difficult language. So here I've gone to a deep underhook. He's in a bit of strife here. I'll let him reset back into position. And he's always after me. Here you can see the little grab back and knee escape on the knee on belly there. So if you go back and watch that again, that's something you can take from this video. Anytime they go to that shin mount or knee on belly position. See, I gave him an underhook there so he could come up behind me. I'm going to work out of this position here. He uses a claw grip, which is not a bad, he's kind of cycling between things. Jumps on the back there. Notice I like to use that left elbow high as a defense. It's surprisingly strong. As long as you understand the attacks they can go to off it, it's very good. So he's going to go katagatame. And if I want to go into defense, you'll see my left hand, I'm thumb posting. Let's see if you can see. Can't quite see. Yeah, my left hand's thumb posting there. It's misaligned his strangle, so he's gone into a back take. But that's going to save you on the katagatame if you can thumb post. So now we're going back into that back triangle series, arm locks, mount, and then back to guard. So most of your escapes, you want to end up putting them back into guard, or you want to end up wrestling up on top of them. So here I'm going to come out the back door like I've been showing you, pop my head out, and there's that little Americana we looked at before. I let go of it. He's got no control on the far side there. So I see I've got a left underhook here, so I can work with this. I can bump him high, but he takes a scoop on my leg, which is good. That actually pins me. I give him my arm again. I think I'm going to do the same defense I just did before. Let's have a look. He's kind of just pinning across the body here. He's not trying to strangle me at this stage. Yeah, for those of you that like buggies, there is a buggy there. I just don't really like them. I'm not quite flexible and long enough. I find it quite awkward. I think we just got kicked in the head by someone. Always be aware of your surroundings, guys. I mean, accidents happen, but you should be aware of your surroundings. So I've got hand on hips. You're going to see me use that pendulum and a little kip there to get him out of there. So the pendulum's a nice way to get the movement moving, and a tripod sweep. Practice your tripod sweep. I remember Giancarlo bashing me with tripod sweeps every time I stood up with him. Every time I stood up to pass his guard. Ever since then, I put a lot of work into him. Side guard here. So my right knee and right elbow are connected. Bringing knees back inside. If you think of his upper body as like a box, I'm trying to bring my knees and hands back inside that box. But I'm not doing attacks today, so I should really let him go here and, yeah, let him go back into something else. There we go. He back steps to the mount. And single chest wrap. So let's see where we go to next. Katagatame. So watch my right hand. I'm trying to put my thumb in against his neck. But I can see that he doesn't have the alignment correct. I think I shook my finger there, being a bit of a smart ass. He just had no connection to the side of my neck. It was a pretty ugly strangle. Sorry, Paul. Obviously, I could go into counterattacks here, but that wasn't what we're up to, so I let him pass out of there. This thumb post is beautiful. This is something I got from Marcelo Garcia years and years ago. Anytime they try to do that. So if you go back and watch, anytime they come out of the triangle and flick it by, you just thumb post and heist up and you basically get an automatic escape. we're back into the back again here. You see I'm playing with that high elbow. I think if some of you out there are having a hard time with your back defense, play around with that high elbow, sort of bicep on your jaw position. 2-on-1 is such a strong way to defend the back. You can always end up coming up on top. It's basically a bit of a cheat code. If you've got a strong grip, you can grab 2-on-1s, and it's very hard for them to maintain. So here I'm deliberately giving him a triangle. And I want to walk my knee and connect it to my elbow. And I want to kill his hip. So watch my right knee. I'm going to turn my right knee in to limit his hip from moving. So he can't actually get the angle that he wants. So it doesn't look like much, but see my knee and elbow, and then I can start to shuck him by. I actually put my knee on his face there. But yeah, killing the hip there on that angle goes a long way on the triangle to escape. I've actually put him in a leg entanglement accidentally here. Let's let him out of there. He's back camping on the outside. I think he's had so many shots at things that he's not sure what's going on at this stage. See, he's so high there, I can bump him over the top, as long as I keep bumping my body out the back way. Now I can go over back and sumigashi. See, I look behind me before I go. That's about spatial awareness and knowing who's around you. I think he's realising at this stage that I'm just repping escapes on him. It can be a little frustrating for your training partner, I understand that. But it is a chance to try and tap someone. You know, he can get in there and try and get one on me, especially on film. So I'm turning away here. You see how Suppo's feet, he can't see us there, so I'm expecting to get kicked potentially. We have a highest rank has right away in our room, so see my thumb post that I keep talking to you guys about? That's saving me, so the skeletal frame means he can't compress my shoulder and get the strangle that he wants. He actually does a good job. He switches to the reverse side naked grip, which I think can get through that position, but it's pretty tough. You have to have a good squeeze. I'm going to slip my right elbow to the mat. I'm going to put it around the back of his head, it looks like. I can get up on top of him here if I want, or I can bring my knees inside. He can't progress forward there. And that was a fun round with Mr. Poland. Do widzenia. Dziękuję. Okay, so this is Charlie. Charles Reindorf. This kid's a monster. He's currently ranked under the IBJJF as the #1 blue belt in the world. He's only 19 years old. He's a big star in the future, this kid. I'm pretty sure he's from the UK. And you know, normally he likes to do tough rounds with me, so I think he was a bit frustrated here and a bit unsure as I was letting him into position. So he's probably also going a bit easy. He's very respectful, but we'll see what happens here. He's a big, strong kid. So you see I blocked his back step there by widening my knee. He goes into the Kimura roll. And watch, I'm going to try and strip grips here out of the Kimura. So watch, I'll try and strip his wrist. He's got very strong grips. But I strip, let's see here. He goes back into the back take. And I'm going to hit turning escape. So he goes back into trying to go into the triangle here. So I'm thinking he's trying to go to the triangle. Let's have a look. Back into the juji, just keeping my head on the inside. I'm kind of forcing back towards the triangle and then bump him off the top. And I'm going to sit back in the bottom position here. I think he's somewhat confused there because he obviously I haven't told him I'm doing an escape round. We're just going. He's got a very good passing pressure game. So generally butterfly half here against just the crossface is probably better for me than him because I can off balance him. But what he's trying to do is wedge the top of my quadricep so he can step to mount. But I managed to hit a little off balance there. So now he's in a better spot. I don't have a very good butterfly half here. I'm trying to go over back and do the same technique I did to Jesse before, but he sags his weight off to the side there and gets off the hook. He'll go body lock here more than likely, yep. Now against the body lock, I like to heist and come up on guys. So you're going to see me come up on my elbow here and trying to create a scramble from there. I want to try and keep his head down here. If his head can come up, he can go to my back. And that was good. He actually went through the middle on the body lock. I think he was worried about landing on Saunders there. A little bit of leg entanglement battle now, so you get to see a bit of leg lock defense. And he just uses it to come up on top. Again, I'm not doing guard, so I just let him pass the legs. Starting to wrestle up on the single here. I can step behind with my right leg. Let's just see what I do here. I think I let him go back into the Kimura attack. Watch the grip strip. He had a very tight grip, but I managed to slip that, and then my elbow slips and you're out. So the key is to not stress in the Kimura. A lot of people make silly decisions there. Here I'm going to give him some back exposure and let him go back into attacking there. We'll do some back defense. He's got long, strong legs, so we can lock a body triangle. Let's see what I do to deal with the body triangle here. He really wants to work on that Kimura, it looks like, today. So here I'm kind of contemplating to not let him bring his leg over the front of my face. And then now I'm thinking about turning escapes. And then I've switched between turning escape and then putting my shoulders on the mat. He uses a good grip there to actually come up on me. That was good. That reverse collar tie. My shoulders drive to the mat. Back into that over back position with the head here. I've got to keep his head down and I can have a shot at a guillotine. I've also got Udigatame on that top arm. And then we go back into guard retention. Udigatame is an inverted arm lock for those that don't know the Japanese. And as far as that, don't get too freaked out. You can call the moves whatever you want, it doesn't matter. Okay, so a little tight waist, wrestle up here onto a dog fight. Sit back underneath Charles there, he sprawls out away, so I'm going to game between the two. He goes to the Das, so let's just see. Did you see I sort of just tilted back onto my back here to dislodge that Das there? If you read it early enough, you can settle them down before coming up into the Das. And I use that same knee on belly escape that I've now used about 4 times. So go back and watch it again. If nothing else out of this video, hopefully you learn that. I let him go to the drag here and see I deliberately take my arm to the mat and give him back exposure. So he comes up into a high ball. He's going to use a power half to break me down. I don't really fight power halves. I find they put so much torque on my neck that I just go with them. I want my neck to survive a few more years of training if I can. All right, so let's see here. So I'm always playing defensively. This is a nice escape, this here. Something I got from Marcelo Garcia. He undoes their hands so they can't connect you, and then you dive forward and invert. It's actually really cool. If you go back in a couple of seconds and watch that, you'll see what I did there. And it's hard because they can't follow you chest to back. I'm trying to give him a leg entanglement here. There we go. So he goes to saddle. I'm going to clear the saddle out. So see my elbow on my knee there, just stopping that coming in. He can go to 50-50 if he can bring the bottom leg through, but I've dealt with that. Now the bottom leg comes through, there's 50-50. So I like to put the feet towards the inside in 50-50, but I've also got to stop his inversion. So I give him the heel here and show an elbow slip. So I grab his elbow and slip the heel. Now he's passed the leg to the outside, so now we're in outside ashi. And Charles gets a kick in the head from some crazy blue belts behind us. He's all right. So what he's doing here with these shoelaces, he's trying to readjust to a low version of a footlock. And then he switches to an X-guard. He might want to wrestle up, I'm not sure here. And that's the end of our round. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep putting these out if you're enjoying them.